Time to look at the stories that are making the headlines with the help of Gyles and Kay. Good morning to
Good
you. Lovely
morning,
to have you here.
everybody. Good morning.
The first story, of course, is where were we all when the emergency alert hit on the weekend? It's quite a jarring noise when it happens, Gyles.
It is a jarring noise. I heard it under quite exciting circumstances. I happened yesterday to be invited to the wedding of my friend Maureen Lipman.
Ah, how wonderful.
Dame Maureen Lipman got married yesterday.
Wow.
She's in her 80th year. She looks younger than springtime and happier than you could possibly be. That's her husband, David.
Is that at the wedding itself?
That's at the moment that the sirens went off. Let me give you the explanation. The very moment the sirens went off, we all held our telephones and I took that snap of Maureen at the wedding. What happened was this. At 2:30, the rabbi said, I have written to the Prime Minister telling him that there's going to be this exciting wedding of Dame Maureen Lipman. Do you have a message? And he said, and the Prime Minister replied, I'm not able to be there, but I've arranged for sirens to be sounding all over the country at 3 o'clock at the moment the marriage has taken place. So the whole nation was able to celebrate Maureen's wedding at 3 p.m.
That's funny. It wasn't the moment where they say, does anybody here?
She looks absolutely gorgeous.
She was so beautiful. It was a very, very moving. And I'd never not been to a Jewish wedding before.
Had you not?
And the traditions were beautiful. It was very, very moving. A wonderful family occasion. Both their families came together. Wonderful from homily from the rabbi about the nature of love.
And
fantastic.
Having that many people there, was it a chorus of phones going off?
Well, fortunately, we had been forewarned because I didn't know about this siren. And what happened, we'd been asked to put our phones, turn them off.
Actually, off.
Many people hadn't, but they all burst into life. And mine was vibrating like nobody's business. But it was quite exciting in its own way. And some of us thought that what the rabbi was telling us was true, that it really was done for Maureen. And maybe it was.
Did you know that gullible isn't in the dictionary?
So what is the purpose of this thing? Because I read today it cost £25 million to do this. Now, what is the point of it? Why are we doing this?
I am fully in support of what Keir Starmer did. A government's first duty is the safety of its citizens. In order to do that, you have to have an early warning system. 2004, I went to Sri Lanka to cover the Asian tsunami. 225,000 people died there. Thankfully, they now have an early warning system in place around the Indian Ocean. And as a result, many lives will be saved if there is a disaster. Equally, Japan, other countries, New Zealand.
In America, there is a thing that makes exactly the same noise. It's called an Amber Alert. And if a child is taken or they've seen a child with a suspicious car or anything like that, the phone literally lights up.
And does it tell you what it's about?
Yes.
So otherwise it's just frightening, isn't it?
No. It's like a child has gone missing in this area. There was a silver Toyota that was that. Anybody sees anything, let us know.
One of the challenges, though, is for women who may find themselves in a domestic abuse situation. They may have a burner phone that their partner doesn't know about, that could be on silent or whatever. And if that alarmed yesterday afternoon, then the game would be up, wouldn't it?
But I can see the value. We've had, because of climate change, more flooding. And I can imagine if you can, because it can pinpoint an area, can't it?
Yes, within a few kilometres.
Like it was yesterday. So you could actually say to people, and look at it, there is danger of flooding in your area, take precautions. So
I mean, I think it was used. It has been used. A 500-kilogram unexploded Second World War bomb was found in Plymouth, and they were able to use that alert system because they had to go and defuse the bomb or get rid of it. So they were able to tell everyone in the area, you need to evacuate now if this is where you are.
Yeah, so it's very easy to criticise the government to say, oh, no, you're wasting a lot of money. But what if something like that did happen and you weren't alerted?
Of course,
there would be criticism then as well.
What happens to one's great auntie who doesn't have one of these?
Yeah. Well, hopefully someone's going to let them know.
Someone will know.
But some people didn't get it. I got 2. I don't know.
I think that's because you have 2 eSIMs in your phone.
Maybe.
I got 2.
It went off and then it went off again. So there's some...
There were challenges, of course.
Yeah.
But that's why they're doing a test. Because to actually work out the teething problems.
Yeah.
OK, let's move on to our second story. You probably know a lot about this, Gyles. Prince Harry is heading back to the UK this week for a visit with no negativity and a rare public engagement. Do you think this might be the moment that he meets up with the King again? When was the last time the King saw Harry?
Oh, quite a few years ago now.
Coronation.
Yes, coronation. Really? Yes, absolutely. Which is 2 years ago. 3 years ago today, the late Queen Elizabeth II died.
Wow.
Is it today?
3 years ago today.
That doesn't seem like 3 years
No,
ago,
it
does
really
it?
doesn't. And, of course, she would have loved a happy family. And we'd all like a happy family. What Prince Harry is doing, he's coming over to do some engagements for some of his charities. I think he's going to be in Nottingham tomorrow for a charity he's supported for some years, and he's kept in touch with them, apparently. It's a youth charity, so he'll be going there. The King and the Queen are in Scotland. I don't think there are any plans for a catch-up or a get-together. But in a sense, when it happens, I hope it happens privately and we don't know.
Yeah.
And after the event, we may hear about it at a later date. Because the idea, it isn't a sort of public thing, it's a private thing. You know, families sometimes do have these sort of differences. We hope in the fullness of time there will be a reconciliation.
It'd be nice for him to see the grandchildren again as well.
Yeah, I mean, some might say that Harry is here with a chequebook and a cause, if you were being unkind about him. Others might say that he is very keen to reconcile with his father. The problem, as we were saying last week, with Harry is he gives interviews to the press and he talks about what's happening behind closed doors, and the late Queen's motto was never complain, never explain, and we saw him do an interview back in May talking about his father's health and saying he didn't know how much longer his father had got. So I'm sure that the King and the Queen and William perhaps would like nothing better than to reconcile, but they are very cautious about what he might say in public if he doesn't get all his own way.
Except remember when the senior aides were pictured
Yes.
together?
Yeah.
Could this possibly mean that maybe they might...
It would be wonderful.
Would be,
Yes.
wouldn't it?
Clearly, everybody wants that.
Yes.
And let's hope it can happen.
Yeah, but it was leaked, though, wasn't
You
it? It was
speak-
leaked by Harry's people.
You spoke a bit cynically there about a cheque.
Me?
Just a moment ago. But
How
I
very
think,
dare you.
I hope I'm right in this. I think he's actually made quite a substantial donation
He has
to the
for the
BBC
Children in
Children
Need.
in Need
He has.
appeal to help, you know, combat violence against young people. So I think this is a good cause. I
Yeah.
don't think he's just flashing a chequebook
But
about
you know,
it.
it's
He's trying to do good.
One of the things that's always fantastic is when they come over and they do
We'll
what
have to
they're
agree to
brilliant
differ.
at, which is being figureheads for
Yes.
charities that benefit enormously from their patronage and their support. Let's talk about Gen Zs
Yeah.
flocking to the National Trust.
I love
We spent a lovely weekend down at Greenaway, which is the National Trust property of Agatha
nice.
Christie's for Annie's birthday.
Yes.
And it was fabulous to see so many young people wandering around there. But it seems like the 18 to 25-year-olds are surging, Gyles, to the National Trust.
And I know this is true because more than 5 million people belong to the National Trust. Numbers have fallen a little bit in recent years, but growing again thanks to the young people. I was in a National Trust house in Rye in East Sussex on Saturday, the home of the great Anglo-American writer Henry James, and later the home of E.F. Benson, who wrote those very funny Map and Lucia novels. Do you remember those?
I don't know.
There were 2 TV series made of them. They're hilarious. If you want to laugh, these novels written by E.F. Benson 100 years ago.
A bit like P.G. Woodhouse type?
Yes, like P.G. Woodhouse, a little bit more waspish,
Right.
very amusing. And they're set in Rye, and there were these beautiful houses there, and there were lots of young people. I say young people, people in their 20s and 30s, touring the house as well. Beautiful gardens.
We're talking specifically, though, about 18 to 25-year-olds.
Yes, yeah. Now, my view on this is a walking nature is a perfect health boost. And Gen Zs, I refuse to call them Gen Zs, Gen Zs sometimes have potentially bigger mental health challenges than older people who would suggest we just get on with it. And as a result, a walk in nature, whether it's the National Trust or another, you know, woodland near your home or even the local parks if you're in London, could make a big difference.
This is
to
you
your
in the
mental
National
health.
Trust?
This is me with friends who were over. The guy behind is a ranger, actually. We go to South Africa every year. They've become part of the family. This is his son. And if you could see the picture a little bit wider, he hasn't got any shoes on.
Oh.
So literally, I've got my walking boots on and he's walking in his bare
Amazing.
feet.
Got native.
Yeah, and they are very balanced family because they're out in nature the whole time, and I'm a big believer in that.
Just briefly, coming to our last story, it's only 30 seconds, but he looks pretty good there at the back. He's a ranger in some Lycra. Yeah. Adam Woodyard has suggested that men never look good in Lycra. He looks absolutely sensational.
You sure he's in Lycra?
It's
I think the
quite
top
tight-fitting,
was...
yeah.
The top
Apparently it makes you able to cycle faster. That's
Yes.
why you wear
more
it.
aerodynamic.
I don't think I shall be wearing it. It's not the look I want to rock.
Yeah,
Not,
and if you
not enough of a luxury, Gyles?
if you can pedal faster than people are laughing, then you're winning in Lycra.
Welcome back. Gyles and Kay are still with us for a look at more of today's top stories. And we were talking about Lycra.
We
Soap
were.
star Adam Woodyard reckons men never look good in Lycra, no matter how fit they are. Now, I'm not sure, because think back to the original Superman.
Yeah.
He looked pretty darn good in Lycra. Look, I mean,
Yeah.
you were... I
Yes.
mean...
Is that Lycra?
That's 100% Lycra, and his pants over the top of the Lycra.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I was lucky enough to know Christopher Reeve.
Wait.
Oh.
And at the 80th birthday
Is he
party of
amazing?
Sir John Gielgud,
Yeah.
I persuaded Christopher Reeve, whose children went to the same school as our children, how we knew him, to bring on the birthday cake. Sir John Gielgud, the great classical actor of the 20th century.
Wow.
And he came on from the wings holding this 80th birthday cake. And Sir John Gielgud turned to me and said, "Oh, Gyles, Superman, you've thought of everything."
Did you ever see the documentary?
Yes.
It was
He was a very lovely human
What an
being.
amazing...
So Ian Beale, Adam Wood, yes.
Sorry.
We're gushing
Sorry,
over
let's
Superman.
stop swooning over Superman.
Sorry.
Adam was talking to Jenny on her Run podcast, saying blokes in Lycra never look good. Can we just get that out of our heads? There is a certain sort of the mammal, of course, the middle-aged man in Lycra, that doesn't necessarily cast the best image for Lycra for middle-aged men.
No, as I said, it depends how fast you can pedal as to whether people are still laughing or not. But I was looking at the origins of the word Lycra. Do you know?
No.
Created by the American chemical company DuPont in 1958 when they developed the first commercial elastic fibre. The generic name for the fibre is spandex.
That's his spandex in all its glory. That's the motivator.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the group Spandex Ballet, same sort of thing.
He was the front man of that as well. I think Lycra serves its purpose when you're exercising, when you're training, as you know, Kay. I've got fit footage of you in your Lycra outfits as well. But I do understand what Adam's saying.
Yellow to match my eyes.
But you look great. I mean, it looks like you're exercising. You're taking your challenge seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose it depends whether you're looking at the front or the back, doesn't it, I suppose?
Please.
Yes.
I don't know where we're going.
Moving swiftly on.
I don't know. It was only when I saw Adam on... I was like, oh,
It's lunchbox.
Do you see what
you mean?
Like,
I hadn't noticed.
but there's also ballet dancers that look amazing.
They look sensational.
They look amazing in Lycra.
Exactly.
We are. Back to the Spandex Ballet.
Shall we talk about the French being outraged over our dining habits, Giles?
Oh la la, this is a huge story in France. There is a poll that has suggested that, 29% of the correspondents are spending less time at the dinner table than they did a decade ago. This has produced a huge, huge coverage in France. Le Figaro, all the other newspapers saying, this is... I'm now doing cultural appropriation, aren't I? Is it allowed with the French?
You're allowed.
I think
of course
so.
you are.
This is a grand scandale. It is the end of France as we know it, because we do not have the meal around the table. And so it's sad. They're saying it is sad. It's the end of shared dinner.
Right.
Now, we have covered this before, and it appears that fewer and fewer people are sitting as a family at the table. Many people are standing up to eat. Many others are watching in front of the box.
Don't point at me when you say
Where are we on family meals?
But they are putting it down to a number of things as well. Like you say, television, the advent of that. But they are also blaming ketchup and chicken nuggets and TikTok are to blame.
I'm a big fan of a sharing meal.
Yes.
Yeah, picky bits. Although I recently went to Amsterdam, I was saying to you, and they had edible bites, which apparently means something completely different.
It really does mean something completely different.
You can't get that from Waitrose, can you?
Well,
Not yet.
If you ask for hash browns, possibly.
Family style. Wow.
Yeah, but I
this
had
is
a 61st birthday party for a good friend of mine up in the Cotswolds at the weekend. And we had steak and chips, but we had it all in the middle. And then you just have as much as you want.
Right.
And then
So
you're
you
not
dig in and-
overwhelmed. Yeah. But we were sat around the kitchen table rather than at the dining table.
this
But we were
is-
done by 8 o'clock. The French only start at 8 o'clock.
The
8 o'clock's
average dinner
bedtime
time
to
in
me.
France is 8:15 p.m.
That's
in,
too late,
In
isn't it?
Spain, you know, it's about
late.
10 p.m.
It's even later, isn't it?
We
Yeah.
discovered that, went to a restaurant at 8 o'clock, there was no one there. So, anyway.
I quite like sitting down to an evening meal. If you can do it, everyone, I think it's really good for you all to sit around the table
You never
together.
regret having time with everybody just chatting about what's been going on
If
during
possible,
the day.
but I do understand how difficult it is at the moment.
But if you don't want to be overfaced,
yes,
put it in the middle.
Yes.
And then you can just have as much as you like. And the French...
Overfaced? Overfaced, what does that mean? Is that a phrase that everyone uses?
It is now.
Too much in your face?
Yes, must be.
And there's picky meats, I never heard of that
Don't
before.
question Kay Burley. She knows what she's
I
talking
know,
about.
absolutely.
You'll never do that again.
What about Cornwall? I didn't know they've tried
Oh,
this
it's been
before.
rumbling
I
for
didn't know
decades.
this.
Yeah,
Centuries,
it comes back
probably.
every now and again.
Residents of Cornwall are demanding the government recognise the seaside county as the 5th nation of the UK. It's received a bit of backing, though, hasn't it?
Yes, 33...
In Cornwall.
Yeah.
23,000 signatures.
How many do they
Cornwall
need?
Council. Well, they need a lot to
Was
get
it-
debated in Parliament.
Isn't it 100,000 to be debated in Parliament?
Exactly that.
Right.
But even then, it won't make any difference.
I'm
They
not
needed
sure.
a private member's bill.
Oh,
It's
do
been
they?
bubbling on for
Ah.
years.
Until
Yeah.
Yorkshire gets its independence, why should Cornwall? But this has been going on for a long time. They do feel there's a real national identity in Cornwall. They used to have a language. It's been revived in the 20th century. We did some
many people
research.
speak?
How many people do we find speak it today?
500.
Excellent.
Okay.
But
It's on the rise.
I have the answer. I have the answer. Donald Trump is coming on a state visit to Britain next
He
week.
is.
Yes, he is.
The Prime Minister this weekend has been up at Balmoral with the King.
Yes.
And I think there's a possibility of maybe Donald Trump buying Cornwall. If Keir Starmer's wanting to get some income,
Right.
Donald Trump could buy
Yes.
Cornwall. He's looking for a country to
Yes.
buy. Greenland's a possibility. Denmark is not playing.
There's some
very
lovely
easy.
golf courses.
Canada, he wanted to. Exactly. Why don't we let Donald Trump buy Cornwall? A lend-lease program. We'd get the money. The country would stay where it is, but they'd fly the American flag as well as the British flag. It's a solution.
Well, the King might have something to say about that because, of course, the Duchy,
Duchy
of Cornwall.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, of
where he
course.
does very well out of those lovely biscuits.
does,
But
he
he is no
does.
longer the Duke of Cornwall.
No.
Prince William
Yes.
is the Duke of
So
Cornwall.
do you think he'll be
William
more
might have
susceptible to
something
the
to say.
So
opportunity?
I think this could be an opportunity for all the way. It could solve all the problems.
Okay, the petition says Cornwall has a rich cultural, historical identity distinct from the rest of England with its own language and heritage. We think granting Cornwall nation status would preserve its culture, promote self-governance and could empower its people to address local issues.
It does have its own flag as well, of course,
does.
and it's a very popular part of the country. The income
Beautiful.
generally from tourism, I would suggest. I did go down to the G7 in 2021.
Down at
when
Cardiff Bay?
the then President of the United States was there. Very tricky to move around the country. What's that great big vehicle called that he's in? The Beast.
Oh, yeah, the Beast.
Yeah, they're trying to move the Beast around those narrow
Problems with
country roads.
COVID as well, post that as well,
Yeah,
wasn't it? It was really
and just
difficult.
to go back to Yorkshire, the best thing out of Yorkshire is the M62.
But to be serious for a moment, I like the idea of bringing people together.
Yes.
I don't think we need another extra country.
No.
There are 570,000 people in Cornwall. If they want to be independent, let them be. But we'd rather be one big, happy family.
We enjoy them
UK.
being part of our family.
We do.
don't
That's what we really like.
We're talking a little bit about family meals and how we all enjoy a family meal, but what about family day drinking is replacing boozy nights out?
Yeah, I think the point to make is that the units are the same whether you're at home or out with your mates. And our generation, I know you don't drink anymore, my generation, do perhaps drink more than younger people. My son doesn't drink. A lot of people of his age don't drink. The point, I suppose, I would make is just be careful where you're drinking.
When was your
you're-
last boozy night out?
Saturday night with my friends.
Whoa!
Yeah, when we had the 61st birthday party.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
I think
was
we, as a
lovely.
family, we will, with big family get-togethers, being able to start at lunchtime and going through to the late afternoon means you can get to bed at the right time.
Oh,
and
I
we're all
love
right.
an early night, yeah.
That's
And
the
then by the time you're up the next morning, you're okay
feel
again.
all right.
Yeah.
This is a serious issue. The universities of Sheffield and Glasgow, they're saying that on average, 11.1 units drunk by a family member on one night out. Now, how many are you supposed to drink in the whole
14.
week? 14 in a week.
14.
So people having nearly a week's worth in one night, it's clearly not good for your health, is it?
No, but as Jimmy Buffett says, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Couldn't agree more.
Cheers.
Thank you both for joining
Thank
us. Lovely
you.
to see you. as ever.
You too.
Thank
right then,
you
it's
for
competition
visiting
time.
our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.